All right, hey everyone, it's Josh here at Pre-Hired, and I'm speaking with today Erin in Sacramento. Erin's finished the program like all of our other folks. She's been hired. She's got a pretty cool story. Erin, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your sales background prior to getting into like software sales and Pre-Hired.
I actually have very little sales experience. I'll say I have a little bit because I work in restaurants, so there's a little bit of upselling for sides and wine and things like that. But I didn't have any business to business or any kind of serious commission-based sales experience before I found Pre-Hired.
All right, and then so waitressing, was that something you were doing right before the program?
Yes.
All right.
And
So,
throughout the program.
okay, and so even during the program, great. And now this is wow, the guys, remember this is live, so this is the first time I'm actually hearing her story. What drove you from wanting, being a waitress and wanting and in restaurant industry to getting into not just sales, but tech, like the top level of sales? If you're going to be in sales, you're doing it right. What caused you to think I should do this?
I got to a point in the restaurant that I'm in. I've kind of moved around within the company that I'm in as far as different positions, and I kind of got to the point where I felt like I'd hit the top. There wasn't really anywhere else for me to go, growth wise and earning wise. It was kind of like it had plateaued, and so I started looking into different careers, and sales was a career that I found a really nice article that summed it up really great. It's that sales is a career that rewards success, and it's a career that, as much as I want to put into it, it will kind of pay me back for that effort. And so then I wasn't necessarily specifically thinking software or tech until I found, I think there was an advertisement, because Google rules the world, and they knew I was looking at sales jobs. So they sent me a Facebook ad for the Pre-Hired, and the advertisement was something along the lines of 6-figure sales job in 90 days or less. And so it took me a little bit of time to do the research and kind of get comfortable, because it sounds a little too good to be true. And then I also kind of started investigating the actual like tech world, which I'd always kind of been intrigued with. But then it was like, there, these software companies selling these products, solving problems I didn't even know existed for some of the products. And so that kind of innovation was what was like solidified that direction.
So Erin, you mentioned something that's I want to actually dive a little bit deeper into, because we do get a lot of people who find us on social media, or they do a Google search and our company pops up, because we've only been doing this for 10 months, but we're almost the largest sales boot camp on the planet. Not yet, but we're almost there. So we're starting to pop up more and more places. And the first thing people think is, oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. But then immediately like, no way, this is too good to be true. I hear this all the time. Too good to be true. This sounds sketchy. This has got to be a scam. And then that's the nice version of the things that people sometimes email me directly or email our team, and it gets ugly. But what was it that you were able to do in your research that made you comfortable, like getting to a point where I think I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna do this and make the leap and try this? What were the things you needed to do in your research to get you to that point?
I mean, part of it was the conversations that I'd had with oh no, I'm blanking.
Was it Caleb or Erin?
Yeah, Andrew? Caleb. That's what it was. Your brother?
Yeah, actually Caleb's my brother. That's right. I'm your brother.
And so it was, the conversation that I had with him, as far as kind of one of the biggest concerns for me was I haven't been on a job interview in almost 6 years. And so I was not sure how much support there was from that aspect. And so it was kind of one of those, asking what parts are included in the program, because I can make a resume or I can make a LinkedIn, but if that gets me an interview and then I don't know what to say and I don't know how to present the information, then it doesn't do me much good. And it was also a little bit of the ability to use the payment plan as well. So it wasn't that I was kind of timid about making that investment. It was more, at the time, budget wise, it just didn't necessarily work for me to be able to put that chunk of change in immediately. But the fact that I could kind of break it up, and then there was that like constant, like, oh yeah, I'm paying for this.
Yeah.
So I should probably, follow through with it
Yeah.
versus just paying for something and being like, all right, this is cool. And then never finishing it because, you paid for it once and then it's gone. So.
Yeah. And since you brought up even price, and since this is a live video, I'm going to go ahead and say we're not going to mention any numbers now because you don't even know this. And actually the people that are watching this at this, well, it starts tomorrow. So I guess when you watch this video, it have already happened, but we're actually moving to a new model where pre-hired is, we're doing an update next month, which for all our current members, including you, Erin, like there'll be an announcement saying, hey, pre-hired 2.0 is now up. There's more content around the psychology of sales, diving deeper into pain, questions, more software, more high-tech stuff like analyzing calls on Zoom like this and phone calls. Like it'll analyze the speaker, the buyer, it'll tag parts where budget was discussed. Like there's a lot of stuff we're going to be doing, advanced stuff that's included. But because of that, for everyone new in September, sorry guys, the pricing that everyone else got up to this point, it's a lot more expensive now. But the good news is we've been selected, and I did not plan on doing this, so I'm going to go ahead and say it though, because it'll be on our website. So we've been selected by a special financing company that specializes in education and boot camps, and they've selected us out of all the United States of sales boot camps to work with. They've chosen us, so we're now able to offer everyone that wants to be in pre-hire but can't afford the program, especially when tuition is more than doubling this month. There's a 36-month pay plan that you can put it on, so you'll be literally make your money back within like 3 months and could pay it all off, but you've got 3 years to pay it off. So we're excited about that. Anyways, that's what I'll go ahead and say, since you did say the payment plans. What we did in the past is no longer a thing, but we do have more exciting options going forward as we are making this the most incredible boot camp on the planet, aside from bringing in some really big partners and big names into the company as well. So anyways, back to all your story. Man, see, that's what, you can't do that to me, Erin. I'm bringing up all this other stuff that I've been thinking about this whole month, where we're going. But so anyways, back to your story. That helped you figure out, okay, this is for real. You did your research. You checked out the site. I'm going to add to this. Guys, anyone listening, go to my LinkedIn page. See that I'm a real person. Like I get this all, you're not real, or even the people on this video are fake. I've actually had someone say, you pay actors to come on and actually do this with you. And I'm like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like seriously, like anyways, one thing that I'll tell people that are skeptical though is here's how you know the difference between a real deal and like a real company who's helping people and then a sketchy company that's a scam. Look to see, do they have contact information on their website? Do they have a street address that they put on all their emails? Can you find the people in the company? Like, are they easily accessible, like through live chat, email, phone calls, direct mailers? Can you find other reviews about us? Which go to my LinkedIn profile, see we have over 40 reviews on my profile. Go to our web, where this video is, there's like 75 reviews now of us. So that should hopefully, and then track down our members, track down Erin. You better have something nice to say to her, for her to give her time to you if you say, if you have a question about us. But I tell everyone, you can find everyone, when you learn the tools in the program, you can find anyone that you want on social media now and actually reach out to them. But yeah, that's how you know what was the difference between something that's fake and not real, and then the real deal. So going forward, you took the leap, you jumped into the program. What was it like going through pre-hired science-based sales?
So I really appreciated the freedom to watch the modules whenever I had the time. Since I'm working in the restaurant, working at night, there'd be times where I can come home from work and I'd watch the videos, or maybe like on my days off in the middle of the week, which is like random for a lot of people. I'd be able to go ahead and make that progress. And then I think the thing that kind of was almost most intimidating was the LinkedIn portion, where it was, you recommend getting to 500 connections as fast as possible. And I was like, I don't even know how to use LinkedIn. Like, what do you do? And then you're just like, just add all these people and connect. And I'm like, wait, really? Are you sure? And then I did it, and I'm like, every day, 75 new connections. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it works. Cool.
Yeah, and that's that's actually one of the easiest. I'm surprised that was the difficult thing for you, because that's like the easiest thing in my mind. But That's interesting that you're like intimidated by the LinkedIn part of it. So that's the cool thing. Everyone has like a different background where they're like, oh, this was really cool. This stuck out to me. It was the skills portion, like understanding, wow, I can influence someone in a conversation by phrasing a question this way, or like just it's so cool to hear like all the different parts that people. And then some people are like, oh, LinkedIn was amazing. The sales automation was amazing. Lead generation, like just love it. All right, so you went through the program, but you went through the program for one of two things, or actually probably both. You wanted to make more money, all right? And you wanted to get a job in sales and hopefully tech, since that's got the best paying jobs generally. What was that like for you? After getting through the program, what were your results in that experience getting those job offers?
So I ended up, there were the 10 companies that I applied to through the certification process, and I'm still working my full-time job. So after I sent those applications out, which I think I did on either a Friday or a Saturday night, by Monday and Tuesday, I was getting more appointments and interviews booked than I think I was prepared for, because not only do you now, you have these calls, but it's like, I want to make sure I'm prepared and I've done the research on the company. And so there was one day I had 3 phone calls in one day, and then I went to work, and it was a very long day, and there was a lot of research that I was trying to do, like in between the phone calls, and I'm like, I think I have time, I don't know, we'll figure it out. And so that was about 3, maybe 4 weeks ago. And then through the different processes, I've had a few interviews and phone interviews that I've taken where it just didn't feel like a good fit. And so I kind of went ahead and, let that opportunity pass. And then I ended up within the last, I guess it was technically 2 days now. Within the last 2 days, I've gotten 2 job offers and accepted one. And they're offering about, I forget exactly the numbers that you quote in the pre-hired program. They're offering about what I would expect for this position, as well as uncapped commissions. So if I want to work more and make more money, then it's there. And I also have the conversations within these interviews of the possibility of moving up, again, assuming performance is there. And both of these companies that are offering me jobs, they both were very receptive to that idea of, all right, as soon as you've, mastered this part, we'd love to get you on this part, or, train. The company I ended up signing up with was like, oh, if you want to do marketing, like we could do that. And I was like, I didn't even think about that, but cool. So It's a lot of opportunities that are there. And we didn't discuss necessarily the actual scale of pay as those potential like new
future jobs
unfold, but it's starting out at enough where, with uncapped commissions, I can kind of choose what I want to make. So
yeah. And so I love that. There's like a mindset shift that I noticed, like even from you talking earlier, working in the restaurant industry. It's like it feels good to be able to like, I just didn't feel like they were fit, so I decided to not even move forward. Like you're making the decision now to move forward with companies or not, because you're a desirable hire. You know exactly what to do, how to run a sales process. You impress them on those interviews. And so they say things like, we're flexible. We want to get you onto our team. We're going to give you market rate. And just for everyone that knows in the program, that the market rate, depending on where you're at for your first year, is around $60,000 to $80,000. Just so everyone listening has a perspective. On the lower end and upper end, there's a wide range because of 2 reasons. Number one is money is not everything. Sometimes they throw a lot of perks and equity or potential to be the manager really quickly, and that adds into like starting, especially if you're a smaller company. They're going to want to give you a quick promotion track and piece of the pie, like the big commission of the company. So they're going to give you a lower base salary guaranteed. And then the bigger companies, they want to give you a little more base because they want to keep more of the commissions, because they know, oh, we're already bigger. They're going to we want to keep more of the money. It's just different. It's just the way it is. And also the cities you live in. If you're in talking about San Francisco compared to where I'm at in Charleston, South Carolina, the cost of living is like double, if not 3 times as high in San Francisco as Charleston. Really, so that's taking account of everything. And then your second year, we talk about getting to $100,000, which is the average income for Southwest sales. So that's, and we talk about even if you don't, it doesn't look like you're going to get there through your current company after getting 6 months or a year's experience. Use your sales system you learned with this to line up the interviews that will get you there once you're ready to move on. And we've actually have a couple other videos. I just remember we did some I had some conversations with a couple of members that's on this same page that actually happened. They're like, probably in a few months, I'm going to actually be running my sales system. I'm not going to say who it is because that's not what I say, but they're going to be running their sales system because like I'm already at the top of my game for the entire sales team. I've only been there for several months or 3 or 4 months, and they're gonna make me wait 12 months before I can get promoted. And that's why policies with companies that you go on, like they're more flexible. Like, hey, if you hit this quota or if you do this level of input, we're going to go ahead and give you more money, give you a promotion, give you more challenge and opportunity to grow. But some of the companies that don't do that, they're going to lose their best people because the people I'm thinking of right now, they're going to run their sales system. They're going to put in 5 to 10 hours. They're going to have 10 interviews, and they're going to make a selection of between 2 or 3 offers, all within 3 to 4 weeks, like very similar to your story, Erin. So that's the thing. That's the confidence you get. That it's not about this one job. It's about, it's not this job, then I'm going to choose my next job. Like, and that's what I love hearing from all the members. So that's what you've been hired and you're in this tech sales role. I got one last question for you because there's a lot of people that I've talked about that have been following us. We've got a large email list, people looking in what's been happening, seeing us grow. But they're still on the fence. They did not make a decision whether or not to get into software sales, whether to use pre-hire or not. What would you say to someone who's still a little bit skeptical about all of this?
I'd say it's worth the leap. There were quite a few things that, I mean, I don't have a sales background, so it was one of those I kind of took the information that was presented. I've gotten a lot of comments about the resume that I made based on the structure that you present in the course, and it's one of those where I might not have thought it was going to work, but I went ahead and followed the process and followed the system, and it did. So, I mean, it's that nice, you've taken the classes, you've read all the material, you've done, parts of the work, but then when you put the actual system into place and start it working as it actually yields the results that are presented, it's like, oh, okay, so not only does this work for finding the job, but it'll work once you have the job as well. So
that's exactly right. The thing that I'll say is that yes, we get a lot of people wondering, does this work? It does. Do you have all the? You think you have all the answers? You don't. And that like I just want to tell everyone just what Erin said is come in with an attitude. If you're still on the fence, I'm going to end with this: is if you've got a good attitude and you believe you have a higher level of aptitude, meaning you're a learner, you're still teachable, you can learn. You're willing to learn, you're humble enough to learn, and you want to. And then the last thing is you've got ambition. You've got a drive to be better than where you're at as far as, because it's your decision, it's your career, it's your life, not mine. So if you're not motivated to get to this next level and to be better, to make yourself better in terms of just enjoying a better job, better challenges, a great team that you can work with, and then more money, if that's you, you're going to do great in this program. If you talk to one of our admissions advisors and they set up a strategy session with you, but if you don't have those qualities, then it's probably not for you. I just want to echo what you just said. So that's a clear way to know, and just book a call, talk with someone. Erin, thanks for sharing your story. It's been awesome catching up with you, and good luck on your next step with this awesome company you've landed a job with.
Thank you.